Okay, so tell me your name and where you're from.
My name is Jana Hlavaty. I'm really from Summit County because I have lived here longer than anywhere else. But originally I came from Czech Republic.
Okay, and what do you do professionally currently?
I am in charge of the Nordic Center. 40 years ago, Keystone wanted to develop this program and I was hired. And 40 years later, I'm still doing it and we're doing great.
Awesome. What originally brought you to the United States?
Actually, love.
Oh, love. Okay. That's a fun story.
I fell in love and I got married here and things were wonderful. And we both were skiers too.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get into Nordic skiing originally?
I had a good professor back when I went to the college who was an avid cross-country skier competing. And interesting thing is that I ski like he skis. And that's why it's so important for children to have a really good example because, when he was teaching me, I could see he didn't give me instructions in terms of words. He skied in front of me and he said, follow me, and he took off. So, it's interesting that whatever we see is very important.
Right. So can you tell me how you went from kind of doing it as a hobby to qualifying for the Olympics?
Well, I did it first as a hobby because that's my background. I have a degree in physiology and physical education, and so I was always physical. And then I became good, and I became a member of the Czechoslovakian team. And then when I came to the United States, I had to start skiing because I didn't speak any English. So that was the only thing I could kind of just prove that I could do.
Right. That's awesome. What did you do to prepare for the Olympics? I'm sure there was a lot involved there.
It's not only what do you do, it's a lifestyle. You have to adjust your lifestyle. You have to eat right, you have to sleep enough, you have to train in the morning, train in the afternoon. There really isn't a whole lot that you could do besides it. You have to be completely submerged in wanting to be a good skier.
Right. Okay. So you kind of have to sleep, eat, and breathe what you're doing all the
Exactly.
time.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What was the feeling like?
Breathe heavy.
Oh, yeah.
You breathe heavy when you cross country ski.
Yes. Just like any physical activity, I guess, right?
Right.
If you're doing it right.
Yeah.
What was the feeling like of actually competing in the Olympics?
It was incredible feeling, I was newly established American citizen, and I was just, it's a feeling that nobody could really duplicate in my life because here I am, little girl who was unknown and speaks with a heavy accent in English, and she's going to be represented United States.
Yeah.
It was a great feeling.
That's so great. What advice would you give to maybe the younger population who has dreams of going to the Olympics?
I don't want to say that everybody can make it because it really, you need to have a strong will. You need to have a support of your family or of your husband or of your boyfriend or somebody. And as I said, you need to adjust your life to it. You need to train, you have to be disciplined, very disciplined. And, when I'm teaching kids now, I'm teaching them skiing, but I'm really not teaching them only skiing. I teach them to be tough. And when they fall, they cannot just start whining. In fact, that's one of my philosophies. No
whining.
No whining.
I like that.
And, they just have to get up and try again till they get it.
That's
so
awesome.
it's a hard sport because it requires that you work out in weights, you work out you bike, you hike, you run roller skis. It's a sport which is really hard. In fact, our cross country skiers VO Max is biggest than the Brancos. These
Wow,
are
that's
really well trained athletes.
okay. So on the flip side, what about people who are just thinking about getting into Nordic skiing? What kind of advice do you have for them?
And we have seen it right after the Olympics. People would come and they were a little hesitant because they have seen these athletes dashing through the finish line, and there was people who were helping them on their feet because they were exhausted. You don't need to do that. You could make it work in a park, or you could make it race, or you could go faster. It really depends on you. Good thing about cross country skiing is that I like is, because I always feel cold, that in cross country skiing, once you get going, once you're out of the door, you will be always warm.
Oh, that's good to know. I'm
Yeah.
always cold too, so that's
Yeah.
important.
Well, you have to have good gloves, good wool gloves and good wool socks, but you always going to feel warm.
Okay, great. Do you have, anything else to say about Nordic skiing in general, or kind of your journey or any other?
This is in the beginning of the season. Um, Anything counts, even if you go on skis and just kind of a shuffle and work on your balance. By the way, balance is something what people are losing very early in their life. They lose balance in their 60s and 70s. So it's a good sport to keep it doing, because really you could do it. I mean, there is a lady who comes every year, and she's 92, and she always comes and brings a thermo bottle with tea. I have a suspicion that she has something else in that thermo bottle.
A little more than tea in there.
Something I don't know, but she goes. Yes.
That's another way to stay warm, right? Put
I
put
guess.
something in your tea.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Jana. It was great talking with you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And you guys, if you're really starting, don't be afraid to take a lesson. It's a good thing because you at least know what you're supposed to do, even if you don't do it.
Right.
And it's a little different on cross country skis. If we have people and they said, "Oh, I do downhill skiing," well, that's not going to help you a whole lot. It's going to help you little, but it's a really good sport. You could do it. We take kids who are 5 years old, and as I told you, our oldest client is 92. Well, she admitted to the age. Maybe we have even older. But
Okay.
thank you, and hope to see you too.
Yes, thank you, Jana. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Okay,
Okay.
bye.